So I've got a couple of questions. One is, when did you know it's time to quit? I think a lot of people have that issue. I know I've also had that issue where, being a doctor is nice. It's you're helping save the world. But you also have a business that you're running on the side, whether it's after hours, whether you yourself are your business. When is the right time to say, I'm making enough money on this business that if I give it my full 8 to 5 focus, it will make me exponentially more than the comfort of employment?
Well, I think first of all you need to establish, do you actually want your side hustle to be your main hustle? The thing with the side hustle is that it could really be something just to supplement your current income. It doesn't necessarily have to be your main hustle. And if that is your purpose for having a side hustle, there really is no shame in that. 80% of South Africans have reported to their financial planners that their current income is not enough to sustain them through the month. So you could choose to just add it to supplement your income and be comfortable with that decision. However, if you choose that you would like your side hustle to become your main hustle, then you actually have to put a proper strategy and plan in place. Now, I kind of garner a bit of controversy when I say this, but I don't subscribe to the broke entrepreneur narrative. I believe that if you're going to be in business, then you need to be in a business that's going to make you money, and that your passion alone will not feed you. So as a result, if you want to grow your side hustle, put systems in place. Really ask yourself, if I wanted to be in this full time, what do I need in order to make this happen? So let me tell you what my minimum criteria was, for example. First of all, I did not want to take a salary cut. I did not want to sacrifice on my medical aid. I wanted to keep my pension and provident fund, and I wanted to maintain my standard of living. So if you write down your minimum requirements, it may be more or less than mine, that means that you have set a barometer for yourself, that until I reach this particular point, I will continue to juggle the two. Now, once you have reached that barometer, you need to be able to sustain it for a solid year in order to determine that this is something that actually has potential for longevity. So that for me was the way that we did it. I think my husband and I were very conservative in that because we just didn't want to be broke. We didn't want to, but some people are happy to do that, and that's perfectly fine. I just really feel as though once you're in business, you are more energized and fueled when you have food on the table.
I mean, from a medical perspective, food is good. We'll agree on that. Okay, one more question for you before I go to the panel for their insights on side hustles. How do you decide on clothing or textiles? A lot of people sit here with many ideas. I'll come to you, discuss something with you, and say, my man, IT is the way to go. This is where we're going. I'll discuss logistics with you. Someone else will discuss textiles with you. There's so many things that you could discuss around. But how did you make that decision to say, of all the little things I'm interested in and potentially passionate about, that this is the one that I want to quit my job for?
To be honest with you, at the very beginning, what you think is probably going to be your path to financial freedom is usually not what it actually is going to be in the end. When you start your business, it's really a lot of trial and error. So we started in the clothing industry, but we didn't start with African print. In fact, my husband and I would travel to Egypt and we would import Egyptian cotton shirts. So once you first start your business is going to grow and transform gradually as you go along. Your ability to maintain longevity is strongly linked to your ability to be agile, to change with the changing season of your business. So you might decide that you're starting out in textiles, and then you might end up transitioning different strategies that relate to retail. And the magic number within our industry of retail is that once you have 4 retail stores, we would then be able to replace both of our joint income. So we grew up our side hustle from there, and on the anniversary of opening our 4th store, my husband was able to join me full-time in entrepreneurship. And so as a result, I really believe that I really feel strongly and passionately about side hustles, because it doesn't need to actually remain something on the side. It can become your main hustle. You know, in whatever path that one chooses, whether you choose to be in corporate, whether you choose to be an entrepreneur, whether you choose to passionately follow a social cause, there comes a point for each of us where we have to assess the trajectory in which our lives are taking, and whether or not we are happy and comfortable with that path if it were to continue. So even when you look within the corporate sphere, because I know I've spoken from the perspective of entrepreneurship, but some of you here may be in corporate, there could be a position in your organization that you wish to attain. There could be a program that you want to go on. I remember when I was in investment banking, and as I began to climb up the ladder into management position, I realized that at the end of the financial year, a huge chunk of the budget was constantly sent back. And I asked, but what is this for? Why are we sending this back? And they said, oh, it's for personal growth, development, and also for people's education. But we can't force people to improve themselves. We can't force people to do a refresher course, a colleague that's annoying them. Or are you strategically positioning yourself and sitting at a table in a department where you want to gain a position?
My question really is, in context of South Africa, looking at young people, the unemployment, etc. Are we in a good place to tell young people who have no experience, no networks, no financial support to become entrepreneurs?
Okay. So I actually think we have a responsibility to encourage young people to follow entrepreneurship. And I also think we have a responsibility to include entrepreneurship within our school curriculum. 50% of young people in South Africa are unemployed, and the majority of those young people may never be employed. So we are sitting on a crisis. And one of the ways in which to overcome that crisis is through entrepreneurship. Now remember, there are different forms of entrepreneurship. You can have an entrepreneur that is almost like a subsistence entrepreneur, who's able to bring in a little bit more income into the household that will be able to feed their family. That is far better than somebody just sitting at home being unemployed. And so I think we do have a social responsibility to do that. You know, when I was in corporate and I would hear of the unemployment statistics, it seemed something far. It wasn't part of my reality until I became an entrepreneur and I started employing staff. And then I began to realize that within the unemployed sector of South Africa, there is a large percentage of individuals that are unemployable. What do we do with those people? We need to provide them with skills and outlets in order to be able to generate an income. Whether it's through the use of their hands, whatever it may be, we need to do that. We also need to professionalize skills that previously would fall into the informal sector. So we need to professionalize skills like your plumbers, for example, and so that they can charge competitive rates that are standardized, so that we don't hackle with the people who are actually the bottom feeders. So yes, we do have a social responsibility to encourage entrepreneurship. And with the project that I work on, for example, my Basadi Women Empowerment Project, the reason why I started that project is because I started my business in the spare bedroom of my home. One of the biggest challenges I had was access to market. Now that I've got 7 stores, I would be amiss to not pay it forward back to the community that has supported me. And one of the ways of doing that is that we provide shop space for women creatives to showcase their products. It gives them access to market. It allows them to make a turnover. first of all, entrepreneurship is not glamorous. Do not believe what you see on Instagram. It is far from glamorous. The truth of the matter is we don't post our hardships and all of the things that we go through. And also, I think that if you are within the corporate space and you're looking to pursue a business of some sort, I think it's important to put entrepreneurship in its necessary place. Your job is number one because you're employed. So your entrepreneurial goals should then come secondary to that until it can take over your primary priority. So it's also important to understand what role do you want entrepreneurship to play in your life? Is it a supplementary role or is it something that you want to take over? And then thirdly, you also need to look at what are your day-to-day commitments? What portion of your life can you commit to entrepreneurship? We are living in a digitized time, so your business can solely be online. It may not necessarily require you to physically be there in order for it to operate. The fourth industrial revolution offers us an opportunity in that it's going to create jobs that did not exist before. How are we positioning ourselves to take advantage of that? All of these things are honestly mindset based. If you believe you don't have time, you will not have time. And if you want time, you will create it. It honestly is that simple. I know what it's like to be in a corporate job where you work long hours, etc. You know, all great and motivated for 3 days until the reality of work begins to sink in. So I think it's important to have practical tools and strategies. It's also good to align yourself with people that have walked the
Be self-aware. That's all we have for you on the panel side. Thank you.
Beautiful. Nice. Hey, wonderful.